Alright, what's going on, everyone? So I just wanted to talk today about, I don't know, just a bit of lack of enthusiasm for standard and specifically for the Karlov Manor set. This is the first set since Zendikar Rising that I didn't buy the pre-order 50-pack bundle on Arena, the first standard set anyway. It's the first set where I've just been like, yeah, I don't really care that much. And I want to, before I get into this, say that this is all just opinions, right? I always feel like if I make a video complaining about something, people tend to take it personally, and I think it's maybe because I make sort of objective, informational videos, so I probably should just stay away from opinions, but I just wanted to sort of talk out my thoughts. So I think I can categorize my complaints about Karlov Manor. There's three major things. The first one is pretty minor, but I don't think for a second that it's a coincidence that Wizards of the Coast decided to make a murder mystery set and, oh, wouldn't you know it, hey, Hasbro has a murder mystery board game. Oh, what a happy coincidence that is, right? No, Hasbro definitely approached Wizards of the Coast and was like, hey, we want you to make a tie-in set with one of our games, right? Our toys. And it was Clue. And I don't know if anyone remembers when the first Universes Beyond cards were unveiled, but it was the Godzilla cards and the Ikoria preview video. And the funny thing about that is we had no clue that there would ever be IP tie-ins of any kind, right? I mean, it's not something we ever saw. So in the announcement, when they unveiled this for the first time, they were adamant that it didn't impact the design of the set. They swore that the brand deal came while they were already working on Ikoria, and they were adamant. They made it very clear, guys, it definitely didn't impact how we designed the set.
Okay, so working with our friends at Toho, did that impact the design process at all?
Well, the cool thing was the world building of Ikoria was already having things like Godzilla in mind. This classic movie monster vibe was part of the inspiration that went into the creation of the set. So when this partnership arose with Toho, it just all made sense.
And it's just weird because we didn't even know it existed. They preemptively assumed we would complain about that and then shut it down before we even knew it existed, right? So it kind of felt like a guilty conscience saying like, I kind of think it did impact the design of the set. But any illusion that these IPs are not impacting the design of standard sets, by the way, I think that's out the window now because clearly Hasbro owns Clue and Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro, and you know, we can move past that, right? The brand IP tie-in stuff is definitely impacting how sets are designed now, and that's just how it is. I think it would be good if we came to terms with that. The other issue I have is something that I've complained about in the past, and I got a lot of criticism for this hot take, which is that in the past I felt like real world sets, I'm talking about like Theros and Amonkhet and all of these like, you know, real world culture sets, they just feel very derivative, and I feel more comfortable talking about that now because I think we've seen that be fixed. Ixalan is the best example. Original Ixalan was just, you know, pirates and dinosaurs, isn't that fun? And then Lost Caverns is incredible. I mean, that is really cool. Lots of depth, feels very unique. And that's also true for the Kamigawa set, right? Neon Dynasty. And with these sets, Wizards of the Coast has videos on YouTube where they showcased how they brought people onto the team with a lot of knowledge of those cultures to sort of flesh them out. And they feel so much more rich than some of the older stuff. I mean, if you compare original Ixalan with Lost Caverns, it's night and day to me. But I feel like while they fixed it with these culture sets, as we see with Kamigawa and Lost Caverns, now we're getting that really sort of simplistic, you know, lowest hanging fruit design mentality with what I'm calling genre sets. By that I mean New Capenna with organized crime, Karlov Manor with the murder mysteries, and I assume the Thunder Junction set with the American West cowboy stuff. It's just like, it kind of feels like they went to a list of tropes, like there's websites that TV tropes that will list all the tropes of a genre, and then they just went like, okay, here's the tropes, we got to make cards for each one, and because of that it feels very derivative. And while I complain about it, I also think that it's kind of necessary. I think it would be easy to look at these sets and say like, man, Wizards of the Coast used to be so much more creative with their with their worlds, but you have to remember that in the past, Wizards of the Coast released one world per year. People kind of forget about that, but in the past, they were 3 set blocks. A new block would release a new set, and then it would have 2 expansion packs, and we would get 1 world per year. And the cool thing about that is they had a full year to build out their world and make it really cool. But the downside is, well, there are lots of downsides, but from a story perspective, if you didn't mesh with the world, well, you didn't have a new one for a year. If you didn't like the sci-fi world of Mirrodin, original Mirrodin, well, guess what? We're on Mirrodin for the next 12 months. So that was a major problem. So with this new set release style of, a new world every 3 to 4 months, you can't expect Wizards of the Coast to put a year's worth of world building into a new set every 3 months, right? So it's impossible with the current way that sets are designed for it to have the same kind of depth as before. But what they can do, and it seems like what they're actually doing, is they are putting a lot of work into like 1 set per year. I'm thinking like Lost Caverns, Neon Dynasty the year before. You have worlds like that where it looks like they put so much effort into it, and then the rest is kind of like experimental filler. So yeah, I look at New Capenna, that's just filled with the most lowest hanging obvious tropes you've ever seen. But it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a quick and dirty throwaway world. You just quickly slam some tropes in, people like it, it's funny, haha, I get the reference, stuff like that, and you kind of churn these sets out while working on your once per year big one, right? So I kind of get it, but the problem is Karlov Manor releases, and I'm just like, it's so, the whole set's just so, and it's not necessarily that they're bad, right? It's not that Karlov Manor is bad, it's not that, New Capenna is bad. I'm sure people are gonna like the Thunder Junction set, so it's fine, it's all fine. It's just, I'm finding myself just not very enthusiastic about it, is all. Karlov Manor is here. I haven't posted a single standard video since Karlov Manor released because I'm just not interested in the set, so I've been playing Explorer. Maybe I need to dip into Timeless again, I don't know. But yeah, I just find it's not really speaking to me for some reason. And that's it. I don't know. That's just really it. My third complaint, which is a bit minor and we don't need to dwell on it too much, but text. There's just so much of it. There's so much text on cards. The complexity creep is real. Every single card has more and more text just stapled on. I don't know if you guys saw, but in the upcoming Bloomborough set, they are simplifying enter the battlefield. It is now just enters. If something enters the battlefield, it just says, when this enters, do this. Stuff like that is a pretty clear indication that they're just running out of room on cards to print more words. And they have to simplify enter the battlefield so they can print more words on cards. And yeah, it's very tiring. Maybe I'm just getting too old, but man, every time a new set comes out and I start seeing the cards in my feed and it's just piles and piles of text, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go play Slay the Spire instead of reading these cards. Gonna go play Marvel Snap. I've been playing Marvel Snap a lot on my other channel. Man, those cards, they have like 5 to 10 words max. It's great. I don't know. This whole video is just to say that I've been feeling, I wouldn't say burnt out because I still like making videos. I've just felt very unenthusiastic about the sets being released, especially Karlov Manor and Thunder Junction back to back. It's two of these genre sets back to back. So it's like 6 months now of me just being like, don't care. I'm just looking forward to Bloomborough, man. Maybe I'm just looking forward to some high fantasy, to be honest. So many sets recently have been either science fiction or this whole everyone wearing fedoras in every single set, right? Like every set now is suit and tie and fedoras. And it's like, man, I don't know. Maybe I just don't like this whole aesthetic that we keep seeing so much of. But either way, I've been feeling unenthusiastic about standard sets, and maybe that'll improve a few months from now. We'll see. But in the meantime, let me know if I'm the only one. Is it just me? Might just be me. But yeah, I think I'm going to be playing Explorer more is what we're going to be doing, and maybe that'll change when Bloomborough releases. But for now, thanks for listening to me ramble about nothing for 15 minutes or whatever, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.